Welcome into a quick Saturday edition of the PHLY Phillies. We'll call it emergency. Really, it's just my thoughts as the Phillies and Christopher Sanchez come to an agreement that could have the left-hander in Philadelphia Phillies uniform through 2030. A 4-year extension avoids arbitration for Christopher Sanchez and the Phillies, gets some club options in year 29 and 30. And all in all, the numbers of the contract are not out yet. I would imagine, just ballpark guessing, I would think he's maybe in that 10 to 11, $12 million range per year. We'll see what happens there with Christopher Sanchez, but potentially here through 2030 with some club options there at the end. Now, when you look back at the deal that brought Christopher Sanchez to the Philadelphia Phillies, it's an absolute home run trade. In 2019, the Phillies traded for Christopher Sanchez with the Tampa Bay Rays for infielder Curtis Mead. Now, Curtis Mead is still 23 years old. He's with the Durham Bulls in the Rays organization. Missed a lot of time last year. Could be a corner infielder with a little bit of pop. He has some decent numbers down in the minor leagues, but when you compare it to Christopher Sanchez and the major league experience you've gotten from him and where he appears to be headed on his trajectory, it looks like a home run for the Phillies. Now, Christopher Sanchez in the last 2 years has transitioned from bullpen to starter. He's had 32 starts since the beginning of 2023. Last year, he set a career high in appearances, 19 starts with 18 of them, and he pitched just shy of 100 innings with almost 100 strikeouts, 96, while just posting a 4% walk rate. He made his postseason debut last year as well, which is invaluable experience when he started Game 4 of the NLCS. In his 4 years as a Philly, he is 10-10 with a 3.7 ERA in almost 230 innings pitched in 55 games. 36 of those are starts. Now, one of the reasons the Phillies might have wanted to get this done is, one, it's part of this young Phillies core up and coming that's going to need contract talks. And one of his rotation mates, Ranger Suarez, I think a lot of people out there will be surprised that Sanchez was done before Suarez. Well, Sanchez is a lot easier to get done because Ranger Suarez is having a Cy Young type of trajectory this season. So he might stand for an even bigger payday while waiting. Christopher Sanchez, locks up some generational wealth for his family, takes care of things, and now has some money in the bank. He might be cashing in at his peak, or maybe there's still better Christopher Sanchez yet to come. Sanchy, as Rob Thompson calls him. One of the reasons is this. Per StatCast this year, Sanchez has seen an uptick of 2.2 miles per hour on his fastball, which is the second biggest increase in the majors by a left-handed pitcher. We've watched him pitch. His ground ball rate is excellent at nearly 60%, 59.4% of the time he's getting a ground ball, which is the second best in baseball. And his changeup, well, it's become one of the game's best pitches. Sanchez has limited batters to a 189 batting average, just 21 of 111 with a 38.5% strikeout percentage and a 41.5% whiff rate, which ranks seventh, first, and second, respectively, in the NL with a minimum of 50 plate appearances. So the best of Sanchez might still be yet to come. You love to see an uptick on a fastball like that. His changeup is one of the game's nastiest pitches. Those whiff rates and K rates are just phenomenal on that stuff. So Christopher Sanchez makes a lot of sense for the Phillies. Could be here through 2030. I'm sure the numbers are going to be somewhat team friendly and favorable. And, that's probably why they got him done first, because when you look at some of the other guys, Ranger Suarez stands to make a lot of money in this league, a lot of money. And Ranger, his contract, is arbitration eligible year 3 this offseason. So I would imagine the Phillies try to get an extension done with him to avoid that final year of arbitration and just lock him up. Ranger Suarez might just go to arbitration this year based on this year's performance. He'll get paid, and then he could really test the free agent market the year after that if they can't come to an agreement with the Phillies. But Ranger Suarez is going to be a more difficult contract to get done. Bryson Stott is the one where you can kind of kick the can down the road a little bit. He's just arbitration eligible year 1 after this year. So no real hurry to get to that one. And then Alec Boehm is going to be entering arbitration year 2. So I would think he's one you're going to want to look at an extension with too. So Christopher Sanchez, Brandon Marsh has probably a lot to prove before you start getting into those extension talks. But Christopher Sanchez has earned it in the eyes of the Philly. His numbers around Major League Baseball are really, really good. It makes a lot of sense to get this extension done, and it kind of marks the start of these young Phillies and extension talks. So we'll see what the numbers are when they come out as of 1 o'clock this afternoon on the 22nd of June. Numbers not out yet, but when you look back at the trade, it's a home run for the Phillies. It makes Christopher Sanchez really happy, and it really stabilizes your rotation with Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola at the top of it. Hopefully you lock up Ranger Suarez, and you're pretty much set in your rotation. You throw in Andrew Painter to take the spot of Taijuan Walker eventually, and now you're cooking with gas. So all in all, looks like a great deal for the Phillies. Looks like a great deal for Christopher Sanchez. We'll learn more when we get the numbers on that. But good job to Dave Dombrowski, Sam Fuld, and the front office for getting this done. Nobody saw it coming. Good stuff. Go Phils. See you again on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.